What's up, everybody? DC celebrated Batman's 85th anniversary with the re-release of Matt Reeves' The Batman, along with a preview for the Penguin series coming next month. I'm going to dive into that footage we saw, then stick around after that for a bonus review of the Batman movie, and make sure to let me know if you got out to your theater for this event down in the comments below. So, this footage we saw of the Penguin wasn't exactly what I expected to get, considering this type of movie and upcoming project preview thing I've been seeing this year with Dune and The Acolyte. I expected a scene and then like a trailer, but like some new stuff. However, we got a ton of new footage cut up with Colin, Matt, and some of the other creatives behind the show, talking us through the process of making the Penguin, which was pretty cool. We were once again reminded that the show takes place a week after the events of the Batman, the end of the movie, obviously. And Matt Reeves seems super excited about that aspect of building out his world, his Gotham. And it was just so cool hearing his process, especially as he works on the Batman Part 2, which is so heavily anticipated. There is also, of course, the recurring beat from the promotion of Oz's rise to power, but in these clips, they keyed in on Oz being underestimated, and that's kind of how he's able to make a run at this power vacuum. However, the one person who isn't falling for Oz's loyal dog ploy is Sophia Falcone. I'm real excited to see her in Matt Reeves' Gotham, and the scenes between Sophia and Oz look to be some of the best in the show. The same could be said for the scenes I've seen of Oz and his mother, who's seemingly going to be an original character. Here in the shows, it's not Esther Cobblepot, but Frances. What could be really interesting with that is if it's an adoptive mother of Oz's that kind of like took him in after his original parents ditched him. I think it'd be truly fascinating if they took it that route, but this side of the story looks great regardless. Colin Farrell also explained that while we're in the same city from the movie, it's really not because Bruce and Batman, they don't live in the slums like Oz does. This right here is why I love that we're getting this show between the movies, because you get to build that Gotham for those that want it, like myself and seemingly those of you here watching, but you also don't create any homework for those who don't want that in the process. It's a fine line, but I really do think Matt Reeves can walk it. Finally, at least on the Penguin stuff, there's an interesting thing Matt Reeves noted about keeping this world grounded, where he said, and I'm of course paraphrasing, these characters are making the same decisions that we're making in our lives. They just have choices and avenues that we never will. Now, I can buy into just about any crazy nerdy world. It's not an issue for me, but I think it's a big key in why that first movie and hopefully this show work as well as they do. Now, before we get into my bonus review of the Batman, I wanted to thank you for stopping by the Nerdverse. I hope you're enjoying the video so far, and if you are, I'd appreciate it greatly if you subscribe to the channel to show your support in the freest and easiest way possible. Thank you once again for stopping by the Nerdverse. Now let's get back to the video. This review is going to be pretty brief, but only because this movie's been out long enough, you should all know how great it is. I still love the raw action and fighting style that Pattinson has in this. It feels perfect for year two Bats, especially with the journey he takes over this movie. You know, he can definitely be the Shadow in the beginning at the train stop, and he still is, in a sense, that guy at the end of the movie when he's fighting Riddler's goons, but it's a little different. You know, he's got the Lazarus juice, which I'm convinced, by the way, that's what that is, and it's personal because that final goon hit his girl. He also then goes cutting the wire and becoming the symbol of hope that Gotham needed, and no longer is he vengeance, that's a Batman. That journey is, of course, full of great relationships, whether it be Bruce and Alfred, the Bat and the Cat, Batman and Jim Gordon, or even the brief interactions between Bruce and Carmine Falcone. But wherever you look in this movie, there's going to be at least one incredible interaction somewhere. I also appreciated the subtleties that Robert Pattinson plays with both Bruce and Batman, but specifically Bruce, this time around at least, as I was able to find a new appreciation for it on the big screen this time, where it used to be a part of this movie that I thought was pretty weak. The one thing I will say there that is still kind of weak for me is that moment after Carmine dies and the Riddler's arrested at the cafe, where this movie does kind of just feel like it should end. I, of course, love what comes after that with the savior moment in the stadium being in my top five, probably top three all-time Batman moments on the big screen, but it needed to be crafted differently so that it didn't mess up the flow of the movie so much at that point. Finally, the visuals, the soundtrack, and the sound design in this movie, all the things that make a theater experience great, remain incredible. Even with the great TVs we have today, there's just something different about seeing this movie on the big screen, in any movie for that matter, and I'll be damned if I didn't get the joy of seeing that car chase for the first time again. That scene's so damn good, and it's actually kind of crazy how good all the car and motorcycle scenes are in this movie, considering the ending is just perfect as the cat and the bat go their separate ways. And so that'll do it for today's video. I thought the Penguin footage looked great, but I'm already sold on that show, and it was a joy seeing the Batman with a packed theater once again. Let me know your thoughts on the movie 2 years later, though, down in the comments below. Make sure you have a great day.